Hello, everyone. I usually like to start by giving the authors a little bit of a background so you know where the authors are coming from, what their experiences are, what they're writing on in ways that will allow you to kind of get the most out of the readings. So with Deloria, he authored 20 books, and some of them were quite widely taken up. The most famous being Custer Died for Your Sins, but he also wrote books like Red Earth, White Lies, and God is Red. And not only are these canonical works for Native studies, these are books that were widely read by the public as well. Custer Died for Your Sins was a national bestseller. Nonetheless, he was a deeply politicized person. He saw Indigenous knowledge, how it had been delegitimized and marginalized over time, and he used his writing as a way to reassert that unapologetically in ways that challenged the status quo. He found Major North, an Army major in the US military, trying to make sense of something he saw that he couldn't explain. It's called the Pawnee corn growers. Deloria recounts that Major North told me, a white anthropologist that wrote this down, that he saw this with his own eyes, the doctors, medicine people, making the corn grow. This was in the medicine lodge. The doctor dug up a piece of the hard trodden floor of the lodge, about as large as a dinner plate, and broke it up between his fingers and the hard pieces of soil until the dirt was soft and friable. The ground having thus been prepared and having been moistened with water, a few kernels of corn were buried in the loose earth. Then the doctor retired a little bit from the spot, and as the place where the corn was buried was watched, the soil was seen to move, and a tiny green blade of grass slowly came into view. This continued to increase in height and size until the course of 20 minutes or half an hour from the time of planting, the stalk or corn was a foot or 15 inches in height. At this point, Major North was obliged to leave the lodge to take out a white woman who was fainting from the heat, and so did not see the maturing of the corn. All the Indians and the white men who remained assured him that the stalks continued to grow until they were of full height, and that then they tasseled out and put forth one or more ears of corn, which grew to full size, and then the doctor approached the plant, plucked an ear, and passed it out to the spectators. And in many ways, that's what Deloria is challenging us to do, to radically transform the way we think, to radically transform what we think is possible, because that's the first step in actually transforming the way the world works.